Yo, what is up, YouTube? Fury here, bringing us a brand new video, and in today we're doing something a little bit different. Obviously, I do COD videos on my channel, but I'm thinking about switching to Fortnite, man. I've been thinking about it, and COD just isn't what it once was, I should say. It's not. It's been dying off. It's not enjoyable, honestly. I've been having so much fun with Fortnite. Obviously, it is the new thing in, the gaming scene. Everything's blown up about this game, and so I figured I might as well throw out some of my experience, my ideas, and my tips, I guess, on Fortnite as a whole, as a game. I've been playing this game for quite a bit. Obviously, there's a new season, so everything got reset for everybody. But in today's video, we're gonna be going over the best settings to run in season 3, and best sensitivity, all that good stuff, best controller settings and whatnot. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. You're gonna be seeing a bunch more Fortnite content on my channel, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys hit that little bell next to the subscription button, you get notified every time I go live or post a video. We're gonna be doing some more Fortnite streams and all that good stuff. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all that, hit that little notification bell, join the notification squad, subscribe, join the Fury gang, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's jump right into the video. So guys, jumping right into this, we're going to go over to the settings here on my PS4. I currently play on PS4. I do have an Xbox, and I have played on PC. So I've played on every console on Fortnite so far. And I figured, for me, PS4 is the main thing for me, because I have a PS Pro. So obviously, the graphics and everything renders a lot quicker on the Pro rather than the Slim or the original PS4. As well as the Xbox, I noticed there's some slower, graphical stuff on the Xbox compared to the PS4 Pro. I don't know how it is with the Xbox X or Xbox One X. I personally don't have that one, but I figured PS4 for me, graphic-wise, is definitely a better option. It runs smoother and all that good stuff. Now, obviously, with Season 3, they introduced 60 FPS, which is huge. Now, before they had, I'm guessing it was capped at 30 originally, and then you can uncap it, which was huge. If you guys uncapped it before in Season 2, that was definitely the move to go there. But obviously, as you guys can see here down below, it's capped at 60 now, which is huge. The game runs so much smoother. As you guys can tell, you probably have jumped into games seeing the smooth gameplay and all that good stuff. So this is huge for the game. Game looks a lot better and all that good stuff. So thankfully they bumped it to 60 FPS rather than it was capped at 30, and then you can just uncap it whenever you'd like. So jumping into the mouse sensitivity, now this is the first thing on the list here for your controller settings. Now obviously this does not, apply to those that don't use a mouse on PS4. I personally use a controller, so this doesn't really fit for anybody using controller. But on console, if you guys are curious, I do play on a 0.28. I figured for me that's probably the best for my mouse sensitivity. And then if I were to play on the console with my mouse and keyboard, that is also set there. Now jumping onto the wireless controller sensitivity for the X, which is left and right, obviously aiming down sights and stuff, or not aiming down sights, but your left and right movement, I have it set to 8. I personally like 8 because it's not too fast, but it's enough to where you can spin and build really quickly, which is huge in Fortnite. Getting that advantage in building as soon as you get shot, building a square, 1x1 square, this is huge. So definitely having a higher sensitivity is good for building, and that's literally the main big thing in Fortnite, right? If you can build really quickly, it's huge. You're gonna have a huge advantage on your opponent. You're gonna win gunfights a lot more. Just positioning yourself is a lot better if you can definitely build a lot quicker. So having that higher sensitivity on the X-axis is definitely big for spinning around, building really quickly, and all that good stuff. Now don't get me wrong, having a higher Y sensitivity isn't too bad, but you're not gonna be looking up and down too often. It's not like Call of Duty where jetpacks are a huge thing where you got to be looking up and all that good stuff. So Y sensitivity is up to you, really. Now sensitivity in general is personal preference. It is what you get used to. Personally, 8 and 7 for me are a good fit. Now Call of Duty wise, I was playing on 6.6, so either way, you could match these. I could do 8 on the Y, or 7 on the X and 7 on the Y. It's basically whatever you get used to, really. But I'm used to 8 on the X and 7 on the Y. So if you guys are curious for my settings, that is what I run on for console. Now, once again, the mouse ADS and the mouse scoped is definitely not going to play a role if you're playing with a controller, but this is for people who do play on console with a mouse. So if you guys are curious, I just have them set as 1, just because I never really changed them when I played on PC. Now, next is the ADS sensitivity and the scoped for a controller. For me, I just leave these at 0.65. I don't have a problem with them. They're both pretty good speeds right there for me. Scoped, I'm not really using too much other than the sniper, because this does, involve the AR scope. So I don't use it for, other than that, I just keep it at 65. So that'll do it mainly for the, main aspect of your controller settings, sensitivity, and all that. But next, they do have the HUD. Now, I just keep this at 1. If you guys do think the HUD is a little bit too big, you can obviously make it smaller and whatnot. I just leave it at 1. I don't have a really problem with that. But obviously, as you guys can see here, 60 FPS should be automatically turned on for you guys. If it's not, turn it on 100%. You're gonna regret not turning it on. So make sure that is on for 60 FPS. Your game's gonna run a lot smoother. Now, I just want to mention this as well. I do play on Xbox, like I mentioned, so all these settings they basically just transfer over for me. Now obviously you can't use the same Epic Games account, but like I said, the sensitivity and all that, I just keep the same on both consoles. And those of you guys that are curious as well, I do use a control freak on the right stick, so that also plays a role in your sensitivity and what you want to run, right? So I have a higher sensitivity because I have a control freak. It's just easier for me to aim, especially getting used to a control freak. Without using control freak, it is a little bit different for me because I'm not used to it. But that does play a factor in my sensitivity and my choice of why I went 8 and 7. But if you guys don't use that, take that into account, I guess. If you guys are curious to get some control freaks, code Fury, a plug, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but that does play a factor in your sensitivity and what you want to run for that. Now, going down the rest of these, for those of you guys that are curious for my settings, sprint cancels reload. I have that off because I don't want to cancel reload with sprinting. If I do want to cancel, I just hit YY or XX or whatever. Then we got, most of these are just basic on stuff. Vibration, for me, a lot of people on COD, coming from COD, they turn that off because most players on COD just have vibration off in general. Me, I like to know when I'm shooting. Well, not like I don't know when I'm shooting, but like, I don't know, for me, I like to feel when I'm shooting and stuff like that. So I personally have vibration on. Obviously, aim assist you're gonna have on. Reset build choice, now this is huge. I have it off personally, but I think I might turn it on and just stick with it on. So this basically reset building choice. So say if you do decide to build a staircase, right, and then you cancel out of your building material and then you go back into building, when you reset building choice, when you turn that on, it'll default it back to the wall, which is huge. Now those that do have this off, it's when you finish building the staircase and you dip out, you pull out your weapon or whatever, and then and then you pull out your building materials again, you get stuck on the staircase again. So it goes back to what you're using. Now, reset building choice, you want to go back to the walls. Now, for me, that's what I do. Reason being is when I build a staircase, I'm down to switch to stairs as soon as I hit O. So I hit O and then R1, 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 and then I place. And then when I get out of that, I want it to default back to a wall, because if I get shot when I'm mid-running, I'm just gonna need to build a wall, and I don't want to go back to the wall in a gunfight, you know what I mean? So this is huge for me, just so you can switch back instantly to a wall if you get shot after building a staircase, because most instances where I build a staircase, it's just to get up a mountain. It's not like I'm building staircases to defend myself, so you definitely want the wall as your default, reset building option. That'll come in huge in gunfights when you're getting shot and stuff like that, so definitely you want that on. For me, that's huge. Definitely gonna help you in gunfights and stuff like that. Now, next two here are new to the new update, the new Season 3 update. Turbo building is new, where you can just hold down the R2, I believe. Yeah, R2 and then right trigger for Xbox or whatever. You can just hold it down and it instantly builds, right? So, whereas before you'd have to click every time you want to build. Turbo building comes in handy, obviously, if you want to speed build, especially if you were getting shot and you want to build that quick 1x1 square. This is huge. You just hold down R2 or the right trigger and you just spin. Pretty big there. And then auto material change is also huge. I think this is a great addition to the game. If you guys do run out of, say wood, you're building staircase up to build or to put a jump pad, and you run out of materials, you're not going to just fall off the edge. It'll switch automatically to whatever material you have. I think that's huge because obviously It does take a little bit to get used to switching. Say if you do run out of wood and you're just sitting there on the staircase, it does take a little bit to get used to switching materials. So this is pretty cool for those that are newer to the game, and it'll just automatically switch to the next material that you have in line. Now also next on the list, controller auto run. I have that personally off. I think this gets in the way a lot when you're running. It's not something you can like realize that it's on, right? You just kind of double click, you know, the left run stick, and you just happen to be running. Say if you let go, it'll just keep running. That'll turn on the auto run feature. Pretty good if you're running long distances, but if you do get in close gunfights and you have this on, sometimes you'll catch yourself in the auto run and you don't notice. So you'll just keep running, and it gets in the way sometimes. So I have that off just because if I do stop running, it's for a reason. I don't want to keep running. I don't mind really holding down the left run stick or whatever to keep going, you know, for long distances. So that I personally have off. I definitely recommend turning it off. Getting used to having it off is definitely going to help you in gunfights and stuff like that. If it's like a, you know, immediate gunfight as soon as you're running and stuff like that, this is huge to have off for me personally. Next thing, I'll go over here to my audio settings. I just have music all the way down. I know some people are curious on what people have for audio. Personally, I just have music off, and then sound effects volume, I'll usually turn up mid-game. Say if I jump into a game, I'll get into a lobby, I'll turn this up if I need to. I personally have Astros, so I can turn up the mix amp as well, so I don't really need to play around with this too much, but that is an option for people, you know, if you don't have Astros and you want a higher game volume, you can definitely fix it up from here. Now, one and last thing here is the Combat Pro. You want to have Combat Pro as your configuration. Probably the easiest thing. Now standard, I know they switched to Combat Pro as the default for the newer people, but for those of you guys that have been playing for a while, Combat Pro was not the default. I think standard might have been the default. I don't quite remember what it was, but Combat Pro is definitely going to help you guys in every aspect of the game. It's a lot easier to understand. You're going to be building, you can switch weapons, all that good stuff, a lot easier than you could with the other settings. So you definitely want to use Combat Pro for those guys that don't use it. Definitely going to help you guys out in the long run. But that's it basically, guys, for all my settings. If you guys want to take one last look, here you go. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new. There's going to be a bunch of more Fortnite content on the channel, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be huge. Turn on those post notifications. Get notified every time I post a new video. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. Like I said, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.